BBC Radio 1 DJ Chris Denning has been cleared of abusing an underage boy while serving a 13-year jail sentence for a catalogue of historic sex offences. The 76-year-old, one of the founding DJs of BBC Radio 1, was said to have indecently assaulted a 14-year-old male on multiple occasions between March 1979 and March 1981. He also took an indecent photo of the youth during the same period, it was said. Graham Soper, 58, was said to have been the first to abuse the child, but charges were also dropped against him, it can be revealed. The prosecution dropped the case against Denning and Soper on June 13, but their acquittals could not be reported due to the trial of pop personality Jonathan King, taking place at the same court. King was accused of grooming 11 boys, but his case collapsed due to prosecution disclosure blunders, and all charges against him have now been dropped. Denning was jailed for 13 years in 2014 after admitting abusing 24 boys, some as young as 9, using his celebrity status to lure them into his clutches. He groomed the youngsters with gifts, invites to celebrity parties and drugs and alcohol before molesting them. Denning was then handed a concurrent 13-year term in October 2016 after he offered a very well-known Radio 1 DJ a boy for sex at his bungalow in the early 1980s. The victim was just 7 years old when he first met Denning at his shop and came to see him as a father figure. The BBC star then began to sexually abuse the boy in a bedroom above the shop between 1980 to 1984, telling him it was their secret. He was one of the first voices of the world-famous station and worked alongside household names including Tony Blackburn, Kenny Everett, Terry Wogan and John Peel. But the shamed celebrity's career was abruptly halted after he was convicted for offences against children 40 years ago. Since 1974 he has racked up prison sentences of 18 months in 1985, 3 years in 1988 and 3 months in 1996. He was sentenced to spend 4 years in a Czech prison in 1998 and given a further 5 years in 2008. For either having sex with young boys or producing child pornography. Denning worked for Radio 1 and was also employed as a Radio 2 announcer and music producer. He was one of a gang of men including King who targeted youngsters at 1970s disco The Walton Hop in Walton-upon-Thames, Surrey. The Hop, nicknamed Britain's first disco, was held 3 times a week in the small Playhouse Theatre. Denning had been working for King's company UK Records, but was later sacked by King. King was later jailed for 7.5 years for child sex offences in 2001. Denning was arrested in April 2013 under Operation Uri, the Met Police probe launched in the wake of the Jimmy Savile abuse scandal. Prosecutors had alleged Soper and Denning abused the boy after he was attacked by another man, who was since committed suicide. The pair had appeared in the dock at Southwark Crown Court on June 13, the same day King went on trial. Denning denied 2 indecent assaults and 1 offence of taking indecent images of a child. Soper entered not guilty pleas to 4 counts of indecent assaults and 1 count of indecency with the same child, and the charges were dropped by the prosecution. Denning had left his London grammar school aged 15 and began his radio career at Radio Moscow before taking up posts on Radio Luxembourg and Radio London. He was among a team of BBC disc jockeys who launched Radio 1 in the 1960s. The DJ also worked for record label Decca for 2 years and helped propel Gary Glitter and the Bay City Rollers to stardom. Denning, of Carlingwood Road, Basildon, Essex, denied 2 counts of indecent assault and 1 of taking indecent photos of a child. Soper, of Livingston Road, Caterham, denied 4 counts of indecent assault and 1 of indecency with a child and was bailed.